Howard's gone to pick up Scotty. They'll be here soon.
Good.
Wish we had more time.
I'm sure that Judge Stallman is concerned about the incident the other night.
Yes.
I wonder if he hadn't already reached his decision until this happened.
And this is going to affect what he decides. What is Laura going to do when we tell her... When you tell me what?
Your mom and I have been waiting to talk to you, but before we do, I'd like you to promise me something first.
Promise you what?
But that you just listen and don't get upset and jump to any of the wrong conclusions.
What happened? Will you please stop torturing me like this? All
Laura.
it means is, what we're going to tell you may shock you at first, but if you'll just be patient and hear it out, then you'll find that it really is better that it happens this way.
What is better?
Lee called Judge Stallman last night and found out that your hearing is scheduled for 4 o'clock today.
4 o'clock?
Honey, by tonight, it'll all be over.
And so will everything else. My fresh start at state, Scotty, it's all going to be over. They're going to send me away.
No, don't think that. Please don't think that.
Why not? That's what you're thinking. I can see it in your eyes. You're as scared as I'm...
Laura, Howard is coming over here right now. He'll sit down and talk with you, go over the things in case Judge Stallman wants to know about the other night.
In case? Dad, that's the only reason he wants to see me today.
Laura, Judge Stallman is to review your case and have a final decision in 6 months. The 6 months are up now.
And how convenient for all of them that I broke my curfew and I went out to that Nightlife Café just before they made the terrible mistake of letting Laura Weber go free to contaminate the innocent people of Port Charles.
Laura, the judge and Mr. Higgins always been very fair with you. And they're not going to want to see all the wonderful progress you've made over the past 6 months go for nothing.
But the people who read the Chronicle do. They've been waiting for it ever since that woman started writing all those stories about me.
Honey, those stories will stop, too, once you've seen the judge.
Oh, I know that. And what a perfect ending to all her stories. Laura Weber from courtroom to campus to reform school.
Would you mind telling me what that stupid smirk is all about? What's so damn funny?
You, Joe College.
Hey, look, I don't laugh at you because you take nursing school. So I'd appreciate it if you didn't laugh at me because I take a few courses at college.
Luke, it's not the courses. It's the way you look. All dressed up in your crew neck sweater and your little corduroy pants with your hair all neatly combed. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you started wearing saddle shoes and a raccoon coat next.
If that's what the other college dudes are wearing, baby, that's what I'll wear.
Since when you do what everybody else does?
Never. I never do what everybody else does, but I can give that impression if I need to. I can do, be, or wear anything necessary to get what I want. Do you understand?
Sure.
What now?
Luke, if you should happen to run into Laura Weber on campus today, would you give her a message for me? Would you please tell her that I know how much she's enjoyed the first 2 or 3 days of college, and how much she's going to miss it all in reform school. But in 20 or 30 years, when they parole her for good behavior, she can always go back to state as a senior citizen and take night courses.
Oh, that's funny. That is so funny.
Oh, I thought so. What was your sense of humor this morning?
Are you on something today?
No, I'm just happy. Finally, after all of our months of planning, we're going to see that little brat get hers.
Our months of planning? Our planning?
Well, I helped.
Oh, yeah, you helped. You helped yourself to my buddy Roy DeLuca. That's how you helped.
Luke, I almost forgot to tell you. Last night, we went to dinner, and after that, we went over to the Nightlife Café, and guess what?
You ran into Higgins?
No, we almost Scotty and Howard Lansing. Howard's a lawyer, and I'm sure he's representing Laura while Scotty's father is still recuperating.
Well, what are they doing there?
Well, let me finish. When I saw them walk in, my heart almost stopped because I knew that if they saw me there, they would have figured that I engineered the whole thing.
That's right. I told you. I warned you about that. I told you to stay out of that place.
I know. Well, luckily, Roy knew where the back door was, so we sneaked out before they saw us. But guess what else?
As you were sneaking out, Laura was sneaking in?
No, Luke, I mean, before we left, Harry, the bartender, told us that he and the guy that Higgins caught Laura Hogan with have been called to testify against Her Majesty today.
Well, that can't hurt.
Can't hurt, Luke! Once Judge Stallman hears that all about sweet little Laura's escapades at the Nightlife Café, he's going to pick up that phone so fast and call that reform school and have them send over a squad car in a straitjacket. I mean, can't you just see the scene? Little Laura screaming for her mother as two of those tough matrons drag her off by the hair.
And Scotty waving bye-bye.
Oh, I wish I could be there to see it.
Well, I'm sorry, baby, but I think that's one bon voyage party you will not be invited to.
Well, Scotty's not going to be invited to Laura's welcoming home party either. Not if I have anything to say about it.
Oh, yeah? How are you going to fix that one?
Luke, Scotty is a normal, healthy guy. He's not going to wait for her forever, you know.
Oh, I get it. I get it. So you're going to help him through those normal, healthy, lonely nights. Is that it?
Yeah. Once I have a chance to remind him of how compatible we used to be and all the fun we used to have, he's not going to have any lonely nights. Or days either.
Scotty, I don't see what good it's going to do to go over it all again. It's still my word against Mr. Higgins, no matter how many times I tell it.
Laura, Howard hasn't heard your story yet. Now, how do you expect him to advise you in your testimony if...
Testimony? Then it is a trial. I know.
No, Laura. Just an informal hearing in Judge Stallman's chambers. It's no different than any other time you've been and met with him.
Oh, yes, it is. Because the last time I had Scotty there to back up my story of what happened at the lodge and why I had to break my curfew.
I know, but you still had to tell the judge exactly what happened. And it was still up to you to convince him that you were telling the truth.
But he is not going to believe me this time. I don't have any witnesses. He's going to think that I just made up that story about somebody calling me, claiming to have letters that I wrote to David to cover up the reason I went to the place. But that's why you went there. That's the truth. But that is not what Mr. Higgins saw when he walked in there and he saw me sitting with that man. He's never going to believe that that man did tell me that he was Sam McDougal, the man that I went there to meet. They're going to believe you. They're going to believe you just as we believe you because they will see that it's the truth.
Laura, listen, one thing you can't do is go to pieces or get rattled when you're talking to the judge, because then he's really going to have something to cover up. Right, Howard?
Well,
But how
Scotty,
can I avoid it? If Mr. Higgins tells him that I ordered a drink and then the bartender said that
Laura,
I
you don't know what Mr. Higgins is going to put in that report or what he's going to recommend to Stallman.
All I know is that he thinks I'm lying about everything now. I could see that in his eyes when I saw him at the hospital yesterday. He doesn't believe a word I say, not a word.
Oh, Laura, why don't you take some time now to go over it all with Howard?
Mother, please, I can't even think clearly now. It just happened too fast.
Laura, if you don't feel like talking about it right now, it's okay. But I do want you to remember one thing.
What?
Now, even though I can't go into the judge's chambers with you, I'll still be there all the same, all right? And when you come out and it's all over, I'll be there. And I'll drive you back home together. Okay? Now, you remember that?
Scotty, I'd never be able to get through any of this without you. Remember?
Okay. And when you're in there and if you're feeling afraid and alone, just know that I'm there with you. Right?
Laura, Scotty, look, why don't I pick you up at the campus this afternoon and we can talk this all over in the car on the way over to the courthouse?
I haven't decided if I'm going to go to classes today or not.
Well, Laura, it would be a lot better than just sitting around here. And I'll meet you right after your first class, and then we'll go and we'll find Brian. We'll have lunch together. He's always good for something optimistic.
All right. Where shall we meet you, Mr. Lansing?
How about in front of the student union at 3 o'clock? Okay.
Okay, Howard, we'll be there.
Great. All right, I'll see you later.
Yeah, thank you.
Good. Thanks. Right.
Listen, Laura, I'll meet you outside of your first class right in front of the science building, all right? Okay. Cheer up, all right? Rick, I want to go out and talk to Howard, so I'll meet you out in the car, all right? Bye. That's good. All right. Bye, Dr. Weber.
Bye. Dad? Why did Scotty say he's going to wait for you outside?
Because we're going to go see Lou Proctor, and by the time I finish with him, I hope to know why he's been lying and get him to change his story.
Even if you do, there's still a bartender who
Honey,
said to Mr. Higgins right in front of me.
The bartender is not going to change his story. I've already tried. But I'm going to try to get to the bottom of it. Maybe by the time I meet you at the courthouse, I will have.
I hope so.
Hey, try not to worry today, and come on, get a nice positive attitude, okay?
Well, just knowing that you and Mother and Scotty all believe me, that helps a lot. Go up and fix my makeup before I go to class.
Sure.
Excuse me.
Well, if I ever doubted the calming influence Scotty has on her, I wouldn't now. I hope you saw that.
I'd be blind not to. She trust him like you used to trust me.
Rick, it's not a question of trust.
Call it whatever you like. But if you trust me enough to believe that I can control this thing with Monica, then you should
I believe you can control yourself. That's never been the problem. The problem is the attraction is still there, and it's still a very real threat to me.
Lesley, if you could only understand, that has nothing to do with the way I feel.
I don't think we ought to discuss this now. Not with what's going on. I think we ought to worry about what's going to happen if the judge doesn't believe her.
I'll call you after I see Proctor and let you know what happened.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Are you just about ready to leave for work?
Yes, I am. Honey, if there's anything that I can do or say to help ease the pressure for you today, please tell me.
You can answer a question for me.
Okay.
How much does Mr. Higgins really know about the problems you and Dad are having?
Just what we told you. Judge Stallman in his office received an anonymous phone call telling him that I had left the house, and Mr. Higgins came over to talk to us about it, and we assured him that whatever problems we might be having were not going to make us forget our concern for you and our responsibility to the court.
I wonder if he believed that.
I'm sure he did. You are not going to be penalized today because of our problems. Please believe that.
Really? Even if the judge finds out that there is another woman involved?
Where did you get that idea?
Well, I know that you and Dad had your big argument the morning after Dad came home when the quarantine was lifted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know that the quarantine was officially lifted before midnight, Mother. So I think your argument was over the fact that Rick spent the night with another woman, and that's why you two keep telling me that it's deeply personal instead of just being honest with me.
When you're married, you can have deeply personal problems that aren't necessarily infidelity.
But when you told me that you and Rick were going to start sleeping in separate rooms, you said not to worry because it was the only way where you were going to work it out.
It was the only way I could see, yes.
So it has to be a sexual problem. That's the only thing that makes any sense to me. Or else you two would still feel comfortable sleeping together.
Honey, this is not a time to be worrying about all of this. Not with the day you have ahead of you.
All right, but Mother? Yes? Will you answer something for me? And will you remember the new policy of honesty that we have between us before you do?
Yeah.
Are you and Dad having problems in your marriage because Dad slept with another woman?
No. And that's the truth. I'm going to go upstairs and get the rest of my stuff or I'll be late for work.
I don't want to see it end up destroying both our lives. I mean, I've seen what it's done already with you and Lesley. And if Alan ever found out about that night, it would be the end of our marriage.
I knew about Dad and Monica before I even asked you, Mother. So this new honesty between us is just as one-sided as I thought it was.
I don't know. It's hard, but Proctor was really shaking in his boots by the time your father got through with him.
Yeah, but he didn't say he was going to call up Mr. Higgins and change his story.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that he's not gonna.
Positive thinking, Laura. That's what's gonna get you through the day.
Right.
And, your ring as well.
Scotty told me earlier that since he can't be with me in Judge Stallman's chambers, all I have to do is look at my ring, and it'll be as though he's right there with me.
I will be. Every step of the way.
Hey, speaking of steps, the two of you better be taking a few out the front door if you expect to see Howard Lansing at 3.
You're right.
The day's been dragging by so slowly, and now all of a sudden it's time to go?
Laura, come on. Another hour, the whole thing will be over. And that's what you should be thinking about.
Okay.
Okay. It's good.
It's gonna be fine just as long as I have you with me and as long as I remember.
Hey, Scotty. How you doing? You remember me, Luke Spencer?
Yeah.
I'm taking a couple of classes here.
Luke, this is Laura Weber. Luke Spencer and my roommate Brian Phillips.
Yeah. How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Well,
nice to meet you too, Laura.
Thank you.
We should be going now. I'll see you, Brian.
Oh, look, my good thoughts will be with both of you.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
She is beautiful, isn't she?
That she is.
She's even prettier than her pictures in the newspaper.
Hey, look, I gotta be going, so, I'll see you later.
Yeah. So long.
Lobby desk, Miss Spencer.
Hello. You waiting for the bomb to drop?
Luke, I'm so excited. I haven't been able to take my eyes off the clock all day.
That's a little wearing, isn't it?
Well, I did manage to give him a little rest. Long enough to watch the Webers bid farewell to little Laura before they take her kicking and screaming off to reform school. Boy, did they ever look scared.
Yeah, so did Laura.
How do you know?
Well, I saw her earlier today in the student union. She was there with Scotty and his roommate.
Brian. Anyway, did you give her my message?
No, I didn't give her your message. As a matter of fact, I felt kind of sorry for her. She was putting up a brave front, but I know she's worried
Luke, cut the hearts and flowers, okay? After all we've done to get rid of that little tramp, you're going to start feeling sorry for her?
Hey, look, I'm just telling you how I felt.
Well, I think whatever you've been using on your hair to keep it so neat is getting to your brain.
Okay, and Laura, the thing I want you to concentrate on is explaining to the judge why you didn't tell your parents or Scotty about that phone call, and why you left the house to go out and meet Sam McDougal at that bar. Right?
The only reason I really had, Mr. Lansing, was that I was too frightened to tell my parents, and I didn't want Scotty to see those letters.
Well, listen, Laura, then that's what a judge, just that simply.
All right, now, Laura, I'm hoping Judge Stallman let me stay in the chambers while you give your testimony. But if he doesn't, don't let it throw you. Laura, he's a very fair and decent man who's been more than willing to give you a chance in the past.
I know. I just wish that you could be there with me. What are you looking at?
Laura, wait, I don't want you to get upset.
Scotty, that's the man. He's the man.
Okay, just don't even give him the satisfaction of a look.
You're going to testify against me, isn't he?
Now, Laura, I wasn't told who was going to be in there with the judge today.
Well, why else would he be here? And he's going to tell Judge Stallman the same lies he told Mr. Higgins. That Judge Stallman is going to believe him, just like...
No, he's going to believe you because you're telling the truth. All right? Now, don't think about that. Think about what's ahead. Think about our future. Okay? That's more important, right?
It's gone.
What?
It's gone, Scotty. It's gone.
Wait, what? What's the matter?
My ring. I lost it.
What?
Scotty, it's a sign. I know it is. It's a sign that Judge Stallman isn't going to believe me, and I'm never going to see you again.
No, don't get upset, Laura. Come on.